we are going to invite the poet Shobha Sunuwar. Allow me to briefly introduce her. She was born in Ramechhap, eastern Nepal, born and raised there, and she is the first female poet writing in Point Sunuwar language in Nepal. And she has represented the Point Sunuwar poet in various literary seminars held in Nepal. And she is also currently the treasurer of the Sunuwar Welfare Society, the central representative organization of Point Sunuwar indigenous nationalities in Nepal. She is also the secretary of the Women Wing Sunuwar Women's Society and the coordinator of the Point State Committee of the Federation of Indigenous Literature and Writer of Nepal. And she is also Point language television program presenter at Indigenous Television in Nepal, the official media partner of UNESCO during 2019 International Year of Indigenous Languages. We will first view the Point Sunuwar poem video, and then listen to her.
कविता ने छ लिकु देवला आम दोरमा दोर्सिमी स्याल्ना सोल आम दोरमा दोर्सिमी सोल्ना बालिको nga lor na nam ke rahar nga ruya rucha fumbur fursi nga plasala ruya ruisia sahtek yarsi am dumsi joshi tita mapathu kera khosim makhotu am ken gya kumi kisimi sholsinga sholsi baliku sengna bit paten number yasha balai likukali mursi gasi cholsa otti yari blala chila shelsa king khar la kali blessa moisi gijit glagar shelsa wahtia oire mosha besare number doa rapsa besare number doa rapsa hera ke giwat khawat bescha chapsho khoi hemma dumsha siksheta number ke orai kali rashi busua jachamimsha am kali fullu kenga sho tisi shelsa marbame mekonel likhupsha kha painimi numbura buchidumsha chimsha dumsha khoi oire shua yupsha jo ngor sho a shoti rili tilipa chapsho khoi fumbu pa plesha am gasi dorsimi sur ngasa sholna shon baliku sur ngasa sholna shon baliku cedem nel kenga phada chimda suguragi phuilinga mur kenga phutte pami boinu palorumi ba num nira maba mi gonu suni kanga chere khonde sho jujur mi pa phlasha bla sho jujur mi phlasha bla sho phullu a ka chamiya mosh jau pumsha bohyo sappa gakhya phu burgo serempu go dumchanga pacha malkhyo nu thapcha malkhyo jerke akhir tana na phullu a bokha chehyamin bloi jinga sa si sai si shakka get khruhyamin bojehyo khosho pami magyuk thu gyol glusha rokle roa shopo gyamsha Gloinan, Pa, Publinan, Boinan, Yarnan, Rahor nu badyeta be mukfiam, Rahor nu badyeta be mukfia. Ibari go seremfu, Tosho nu kulun mohini, Pola Thepulmi, Blok Safia Gumsho, Itzikayo, Kasho, Matuhitu, Set ngana, Twinchimi Gafia Risho. Set ngana, Twinchimi Gafia Risho.
Dolkha Mate Nepal ही मुलाद गो आलोक शोभा कविता सेंसेन छु कविता के शीर्षक ब्लोइची राता सी ताता मुरन गमगासी सी ताता मुरन गमगासी बेचा साहचमी थु खास्या आ मुरपिकी हेमशो नीलोपा आ मसेसिब आ मुरपिकी हेमशो नीलोबा आ मसेसिब मिची गाले वाक्रस्या का नलेरे का फुरेउ ब्लसिङ बा हेमशो नीलोमी सी पा इफ्सोकली ता मारामे दोथमे तेजा दिमगी वत मारपन बा महिना मतुष्यो आमकली चोगे थेसा रमता पचंगलासा मारे मबाब थू दमे नेलके ब्रले चिलेही इलोइसी बोन बा हेमशोनीलेनी गिल्सो आतारी ब्रोइची आन्छ थू गामी मारे ओदेन हेमशा गुइखल ताशा इमे आमैना हंस गिवात खवात ता मारे ओदे प्लोमे ता तेलमे लमे ता मारे ओदे प्लोमे ता तेलमे लमे सरेंगे काका लम्पो खरिंगे का गे ग्लू ओमको ता ते जामे मार दे चोरपे में nga pasalame मार दे चोरपे nga pasalame लोला मथे थु रमता कोशा बापुकी आनहोइती लोला मथे थु रमता कोशा बापुकी आनहोइती आहेमशो नीलोमिनी कोना कुन बशालता कोना कुन बेशालता पुलो दुमशा बिल जामशालता अन नामनाती नकजामता ओदे सुंदर बात एको ब्लाइची दिशा इंकेयो मदेशनमै खदी मुदी थरी बात ब्लाइची रात ओदेन होइती बारना चेरे दुमला थैंक
मार सफाकले रहरबा नाक न्या हौजी सगुर पखफुइली दोसा दाइलचा दुमचा ओमोकोल सरवा के फेचे दुमचा किकी ऋषि दुमसा सप्पा कुचुफ्लासा हिमसिन नामलेसा सुतुक लोक खोस्सा खदिमुइ बिगिमिन सप्पा गेर्सा सिसिरब हुगासी दुमसा लगा बाचकली सिरिर फाइसिनी मैसिन baca. Ai kali yo thung ba mai sa. Yo piki phai sinim jigim jaba laiba ju darlesha sosho baba minuthu manuthu yo nakhem ke guemi reke Receitation malso akha hau jina jin dojan malso safa hem sisa dumja lajan malso khadi mudimi thariya klakasi khate pami khen sisa nga rawami rupa safa al sotal nga phece pani tusho baba safa alo si bari safa dumi duli sidol atol kurte kursa mansu kena marup nimi ta hermur piking safa al sotal.
네. 쇼바 수누와르 시인의 시를 수누와르어
So now we
사용자들이
have just
직접
heard
네, 낭송한
the
영상을
recital of
들어보셨고,
poems
그리고
written by
네팔에서
Shoba
수누와르를
Sunuwar.
창작 활동을 하고 계시는
And also
쇼바
now
수누와르
we
시인을
will
이제
hear
만나보실
from
차례인데요.
Shoba Sunuwar,
감사합니다.
who is writing in Nepal.
이제 영상의 주인공인
And
쇼바
now
수누와르
we
시인을
will
모시고
be
이야기를 듣는 시간을
Hearing
갖겠습니다.
from
큰
her
박수로
through
맞이해
the
주시기
video. So
바랍니다.
please welcome her with a big round of
First
applause.
of all, Sew, the greetings in our mother tongue. I would like to thank you for the organizer and selecting committee for this historic opportunity. I have been given to present about Sunuwar language literature. My name is Shoba Sunuwar Juliet. I am one of the indigenous people's poet representing Sunuwar indigenous nationalities of the Nepal. Sunuwar indigenous peoples. Sunuwar is one of the 59 indigenous peoples legally recognized and listed under National Foundation for Development of Indigenous Nationalities Act 2002. They identified themselves and coins, while others recognized them as Sunuwar, Mukhya, Sikari, and so forth. According to 2011 census, their population in 55,712, of the which about 38,000 speak their mother tongue, which is called Koenslo. Sunuwar Seva Samaj in English, known as Sunuwar Welfare Society, is an umbrella representative organization of Sunuwar indigenous peoples, was founded in 1988. History of Sunuwar indigenous literature. Sunuwar literature has only 16 years long history. The evidence of modern writing literature activities show that Sunuwar literature is one of the most endangered language literature in Nepal. But the former's unwritten and short poetry writing literature seems to be appeared in 1977. Since then, Sunuwar Welfare Society began to unite Sunuwar indigenous peoples and started publishing the official magazine titled Koensbu, which means a brotherhood creating platform publishing Koens, poem and story. Moreover, in 2005, for the first time, Koensuplu organized the poetry workshop and started publishing then a Serempu, the periodic publications and the collection of poems in the book format. This has been published once a year to date. Lately, by reviving the historical Sunuwar script, we have initiated to publish Hamso magazine to document literature in our own script. Sunuwar literature activities. In 2005, Chuplu Society for the first time organized Koins Poet Symposium with the aim to unite all Koins poets. But songs and poem writing and publication began from 1977. Former British Army Captain Tilak Bahadur Sunuwar from Dolakha had published a book comprising of 4 songs in mother tongue, along with his Khas Nepali poems. Since then, the poem and literary creation had been published. Koins folk literature traditionally been told had transferred through rituals and cultural performance. Nature and ancestral worshipping mainly by poem male shaman, Gyami female shaman, Naso the priest, and so forth. The literary journey formally began from 2005 is continued without any support from government or other institutions. The financial costs are borne among poets themselves. Despite during the COVID-19 pandemic, the literary symposiums were performed virtually and through Indigenous television, the official media partner of UNESCO during 2019 International Year of Indigenous Language. My involved in literature activities. I was born and raised in Bhuj, Thika, the remote village in eastern Nepal, and I complete my grade 12 from there. I participated in literature activities since my school days. After grade 12, I came to Kathmandu, the capital city for higher study. During my college days, I participated in poem competition. I then secured second position. I began writing poem in my mother tongue since 2005. My first poem written in mother tongue on nature was published in official magazine of Sunuwar Welfare Society and regularly contribute poem and literary works in online, book and newspapers. Since 1993 International Day of World Indigenous Peoples. International Mother Tongue Days have been regularly observed. I have regularly been participating in recitation of my poems in its programs. I have so far published 3 books, the collection of my poems. At the end, the sustainable development is possible not merely out loud in wording alone, rather investing to promote the indigenous literatures including of Sunuwar. I want to emphasize that unless there is real preservation and promotion of language, literature through investing in mother tongue education, sustainable development is hardly achieved. So far, in the initiation of Sunuwar Welfare Society, representative organization of Sunuwar and Chuplu Society, established to promote literature of Sunuwar indigenous peoples, have been undertaking literary activities through their own initiatives. They have developed language policy and programs to revitalize and preserve their language, and they have a plan to publish children literature, songs for children, films, educational materials, including cartoons, with our dream of residential school in our language. Finally, before I conclude my presentation, what I want to recommend to the world community to support in developing online dictionary for publication of online literary magazine, developing literary materials for children such as online puzzle game, quiz, poem and story writing competitions. Poem recitation and literary activities, literature symposiums program to launch residential schools on mother tongue education with priority to indigenous languages. With this, I would like to conclude my presentation here. Thank you once again for the opportunity to present Queen's literature in this August symposium. Thank you.
네, 감사합니다.
Thank you
네팔에서
very much.
수어로
So,
창작 활동을 하고 계신
from Nepal, that was Shobha Sunuwar,
교수님이십니다.
who is writing
네,
in
여러 가지
the
말씀을
Sunuwar language.
해주셨는데요.
So
개인적인
thank you very much. So
문학
she
사이트에서
has
말씀해주시고
touched upon
자연의
various
목표를
points. So
쓰는
she
문학의
talked about her
특징에
own
대해서도
literary history,
말씀해주셨습니다.
and she also
아까
talked about
시간
the
속에서도
features
지역의
of her work, for
경험에
example,
대해서
nature.
각별한 일정을
Then
느낄 수
also, even
있었는데요.
in the poem reciter
그리고
earlier, we were able
콘츠
to feel her
민속문화에
fondness for
대해서
nature.
여러 가지 말씀을
Then she also
해주시면서
told us about
정부의
the
어떤
folk
지원금 같은 것이 없이
culture of
자성적인 움직임으로
points, and also she
이루어졌다라는
mentioned
얘기를
that this
해주셨고요.
is a
그리고
grassroots
앞으로
movement
이것이
without
더욱
support from the
보존되고 또
government.
진행이 되기
And then,
위해서 여러
in
사람들의
order to
힘이 좀
preserve this into the
모여졌으면
future, then
좋겠습니다.
we
또
need to put together the
인상적이었던 게
strengths
시
of
관련해서
many
이제
different
온라인
people. And then
콘텐츠들을
also,
또 기획하고
interestingly enough,
하시는 그런
she talked
얘기들을
about
하시면서
the planning
이것이
for online
교육으로도
content
확장되어야 한다라는
and how we
말씀을
need to
해주셨습니다.
broaden this to education as well.
네, 벌써 이렇게 이제 시간이
Thank
많이
you. And
흘렀습니다.
yes,
이제 멕시코,
time has really
과테말라,
flown. So we
네팔의
have
시카고 작가 세
heard
분을
from
모시고 여러 가지
Mexico,
이야기를
Guatemala, and
들어보았는데요.
Nepal,
네, 잠시
listening to their
이제
stories.
휴식 시간을 좀
And now we
갖겠습니다.
will be
그래서
having
한국
a break
시간으로
time.
오후 2시부터
And we
제1세션
will
오후 프로그램을 계속 진행할
resume
예정입니다.
the second part of
오후
session
세션에는
1
이제
at 2
케냐와
p.m. Korea
나이지리아에서
time.
오신 두 분의 시인을
In the
모시고
afternoon
매우
session, we will
흥미로운
be
이야기를
hearing
들으실 수
from
있으실
poets
테니까요.
from Kenya and
놓치지
Nigeria.
마시고
So I hope you don't miss
꼭
it because
시청해
interesting
주시기를
stories
부탁드립니다.
will
아울러
await you.
유튜브로
So hope
시청을
to
하고
see you
계신
again at 2
여러
o'clock. And
청중분들이
also,
계실 텐데요.
for those
작가님들에게
participating
질문이
through
있으실
YouTube,
경우에는
if you have any
유튜브
questions, then
채팅창에
please make
꼭
sure that you
남겨주시기
leave them
바랍니다.
in
그럼
the
제가
chat
전달을 드려서
box
질문에
in
대한
YouTube,
답변을
and we
드리도록
will deliver
하겠습니다.
the
잠시 후에
questions to
뵙겠습니다.
the speakers.
감사합니다.
Thank you, and we'll see you again in a while.